Good evening. Barney, thank you. Thank you for your incredible leadership as chair of the Ceres board. You are quite amazing. You are a visionary, you are an incredible leader, and have been a wonderful partner and inspiration to the organization. And Temple, I want to thank you for lending us so much of Barney's time. We'll continue to try and use it sparingly, but he makes an extraordinary difference, and I could not be more grateful to you, Barney, for your leadership. And Kisa, where are you, Kisa? Thank you for your insights, your spirit. They lift us all. Your enthusiasm is always something we all admire and watch you as the room lights up when you speak. Good evening, everyone. It is wonderful to be together with friends and family. And as I walked along and around the cocktail party, I really did realize that people are here who we've worked with for 10 years, for 20 years, business leaders, advocates, investors, partners who have together made our work possible. None of us could be done individually. We are a nonprofit. We have grown from 7 people to a couple hundred, but we are trying to move mountains and can't do that without you. So indeed, for me, this is Friends and Family Evening. And I am thrilled, as Kisa said and as Barney noted, to celebrate the huge leap forward that California just made, the passage of the 2 groundbreaking climate risk bills that now are the law of the land. Thank you, California, for getting us here. And as Kisa noted, we've been leading the fight for climate disclosure rules for decades, and I mean decades. This has been one of our signature policies starting in 1995 when we launched the Global Reporting Initiative, the first standard for corporate sustainability reporting on environmental and social issues, and now being used by over 10,000 companies across the globe. They are GRI reporters, and they have started and keep moving forward. Or our effort back in 2003, when Ceres and 10 investors, and I think most of them are in this room, from CalPERS and CalSTRS and others, who stood with us, 10 investors, who launched the first public call for the SEC to mandate climate risk disclosure. And just think about it, we are almost there. The SEC is this close. You know, as we know, a 509-page draft rule, 16,711 comments, more than any other rule at the SEC, and the support of comments and the power and the engine comes out of this room, as every one of you have joined us in our multiple calls, discussions, meetings, webinars with the chair and the members of the SEC. So we are almost there, and we'll get there. I know all of us in this room understand and recognize what a game changer this will be. Every corporate board member is now asking about climate risk in their companies. We know that to manage climate risk, you have to measure it. Now we can do that. Simple concept, but we were not able to do that. Now with the California bills, we can do that. Hopefully, as the SEC moves, we will have yet more clarity. And I'm proud of the work we did at Ceres to mobilize business leaders to back these bills. And I'm moved by their courage in standing up in the face of well-funded attacks to show their strong support. Many of these companies have been involved. There have been lists noted, and a few of them here tonight, including Apple, Everlane, Grove Collaborative, Patagonia, REI, and Salesforce. Please know we are grateful for your work. Thank you. You see, the opponents of climate action just can't stop our progress, no matter how hard they try or how they spend. And let me say the following. They are really trying, and they are definitely spending. I don't have to tell you that our country has been engulfed in a harassment campaign designed to slow climate progress. And I will be honest, it is personally unnerving to receive subpoenas for tens of thousands of emails and documents from a House committee where most of their members deny climate change and want to call what we do woke capitalism. What world are we living in? But we know we are the target because of our success, because of the work we have done together, because of Climate Action 100+, the world's largest investor initiative. And let me say, probably half the room here is involved with Climate Action 100+. But where we have 700+ investors, the world's largest investor initiative, working to get the biggest polluters to become net zero businesses. And it's working. And they're after us because of the Ceres Accelerator for Sustainable Capital Markets, which is moving financial regulators to address climate risk. And because today, more than 400 global investors with more than $60 trillion in assets under management have committed to net zero goals. And these investors are pushing the companies in their portfolios to do the same. Now, this is all great. It is a great start, but we certainly have always known that disclosure and general goal setting is just the beginning. What has to come now are actual transition plans with time-bound, public, measurable targets to achieve the goals. And while there's a long way to go, I can tell you more and more companies and more investors are doing just that. We are working with hundreds of companies on developing a climate action plan that is real, that is tangible, that talks about what they're going to do next week and next year and 3 years from now and 5 years from now, not their goal for 2050. And our methodologies and our work with investors to do the same through investor climate action plans, methodologies that we developed with each of you are blossoming, and we are seeing hundreds of them moving forward. We've got a long way to go. We are definitely not there, but more and more players are doing it, and more institutions realize this is about action now, not tomorrow, next week, not 5 years from now. And they recognize that mitigating climate risk is a business imperative, is a fiduciary duty, and this other small thing is a matter of our children's future. So we are determined. We are energized by what we've seen, and with all of you as our partners and supporters, we are turning the tide. And we'll keep going if you keep at it with us. So thank you. Let me say just a few other things. One of my distinct privileges leading this high-performing nonprofit is getting to join you at Evening with Ceres to celebrate our accomplishments and to share our plans. And tonight, I want to underscore both with you with just 2 words: freedom and opportunity. Freedom, as in having the freedom to invest responsibly, the freedom to invest in well-managed companies and generate returns by addressing financial risks. What a concept. To imagine that this is a political issue in this country is absolutely insane, but we will stay at it because it is about generating returns, responsible companies, and action. Just this year, we launched a campaign called Freedom to Invest to make a clear, unambiguous case for keeping free markets free. I assume most of you in this room don't want to be told you may not even consider climate risk or social risks in your portfolio manager. Of course, that makes no sense. The fight, though, is real. The money coming at us for woke capitalism or campaigns to limit investments is real, and we need every one of you to join us. The more voices out there making the case of the absurdity of all of this, the better we are. And the voices that we need out there are your voices. Business leaders, investor leaders making the case of fiduciary duty, of material risk, of good sound management. That's what we need to do. And I'm proud of our tireless staff for taking on this work on top of everything else we do. But when hundreds of millions of dollars come into the market to tell us that acting on climate risk is woke capitalism or ought to be outlawed, it really is a reason to act. So we're responding to this existential threat while trying to address humanity's existential crisis. And we will keep at it. And tonight, I also want to talk about opportunity. At Ceres, we've been highlighting the economic opportunity of a clean energy future since our founding nearly 35 years ago. Now, this massive opportunity is rapidly becoming a reality before our very eyes, spurred on by a trio of ambitious policies: the infrastructure, CHIPS, and the Inflation Reduction Act. $369 billion alone in the Inflation Reduction Act, 40% of that for low-income and most affected communities. Finally, we've got the resources that it takes. And this year, we've been focused on helping unleash the power and the benefits of those policies. Already, the IRA has catalyzed $270 billion in private investments in clean energy. That's a good start. And in California alone, it has spurred $11.9 billion in new clean energy investments from startups to existing companies, creating 5,300 jobs. A good start, but we've got a long way to go. Let's keep at it. With this historic investment in clean energy, transportation, and environmental justice, we now have the tools to change the course of history in the United States and beyond. We can transform our economy if this money is spent right, if the laws are executed well. Let us seize these opportunities now and with a vengeance. It is the time to make it happen. But first, let's at least allow you to eat dinner. Please enjoy your meal and the conversation at your table. In about just 40 minutes, we'll begin our main program and hear from two remarkable partners and leaders, Marla Blow from the Skoll Foundation and Chris Ailman from CalSTRS. I'm looking forward to their insights and know you are as well. But I want to note my gratitude to each of you. Thank you for your friendship, and I count each and every one of you as such, for your moral support as we get bombarded by negativism, for your financial support to allow us to keep growing and building out our programs. And most of all, perhaps, for your commitment to building a safer, a healthier, a better, and a sustainable future for our kids. They deserve nothing less. With gratitude, thank you for being here. Enjoy your meal. Bon appetit. Take care.